So we get a lot of questions about long, really long lag putts. How do you control the speed and distance on them and get them close, or at least, close enough so that you can avoid three putting? And I'm talking about the long lag putts, 60, 70 feet, sometimes maybe more. Most of us, if you play on courses, especially courses with larger greens, you're going to have one or two of those around. Here's some tips that'll help you with that. Let's get started. All right, first thing on these longer putts like that is going to be your grip pressure. A lot of people grip the putter, in my opinion, too loosely. It's like, when you were a kid and you were bunting a baseball, you wanted to dead hand it. You're not doing that with a long putt. You can't dead hand it. It won't get there if you do. So there's that old adage that people always say, oh, you want to grip the putter in your hands like you're holding a baby bird. I have no idea what that means. How do you hold a baby bird? Any of you do that lately? I don't, in my normal day-to-day life, hold baby birds, so I don't know how to hold one. Here's what I know about holding the putter. I've had lately a couple of different folks we were doing lessons, and both of them were struggling, even on short putts, with speed and distance control. And the thing is, they were gripping the putter very, very loosely. Now, I'm going to tell you, here's what works for me. I almost never think about gripping the putter because I sorted this out years ago. Here's what works for me. Put your grip on the putter, however you grip it, as firmly as you can possibly hold it without feeling any tension in your hands or your arms. So let's zoom in here, Mr. Cameraman, and get a close-up, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And I don't even think about it because it's become such second nature. But I usually have my right hand on because I'm right hand dominant, and everything is set. I'm ready to go. At the last minute, I put in my left, and I feel like I'm gripping it pretty firm. But watch, if it's too firm, you can see the tension in my hands, and the veins start to come out of my, that's too firm. If it's too loose, then the putter is all wobbledy. I can't hit a solid stroke. But just a good firm grip without feeling any tension. Like I felt tension, now I'm slightly releasing the pressure. So that's it. Nice and firm without any tension in your hands and arms. Second thing related to grip on these longer putts, and by the way, this also applies on the shorter putts, have consistent grip pressure throughout the stroke. You can work on this at home, just stand while you're watching TV or whatever, hold your putter and feel like, just focus on your hands. The grip pressure does not change no matter where the club, bigger stroke, still the grip pressure does not change. So firm grip pressure without tension, consistent grip pressure. And by the way, this applies not only to these long putts we're talking about in this video, but to any putt you ever make. That ought to be part of your routine in every putt. So second key to controlling speed and distance on these really long putts is going to be stability. And by stability, I'm talking about your stance and your setup. I see a lot of people on these longer putts spread their legs wider and they're doing all kinds of things with their body. No. Get set the same way. Short putts, long putts, doesn't matter. For me, I set up and my weight, I start evenly distributed. Then I know that my dominant eye is my right eye. So my ball position is going to be just ever so slightly back of center for me. With that said, now I shift until I have about 70% of my weight on this right leg. And the reason for that is simply that the low point, if I'm still and stable in my stance and ball setup position, The low point is going to be where the weight is, which is back here. Because for me, my ball position is a little bit back of center. I want the low point to be about there so that as I'm striking the ball, the putter is moving up ever so slightly. Now, if I were left eye dominant, my ball position would be up here. I'd want my weight to be about evenly distributed, 50-50. Set that up, feel that. So nice and stable with your weight consistently distributed, and you've got that stability so that you're not moving or wiggling around a whole lot in your swing. Your hips aren't swaying and you're not doing a weight shift. That's set. By the way, the stability, just like the grip, the same on every putt you ever make, whether it's 3 feet or 73 feet. Now let's talk about the one thing that really is important on these longer putts, and that is, and this is the thought in my mind when I'm hitting these, longer and smoother stroke. I see a lot of people get set up to the ball on these longer putts and they're body turning and moving and all of that. That does not work. You can't control speed and distance with all of that. So it's really important, and I'm going to hit a long one here, but I want you to see what I'm talking about. So I'm set up. Now I know it's a long putt. This is over 100 feet to where I'm going, maybe 120 feet. So my only thought process right now is longer and smoother. Longer and smoother. So my only thought process right now is longer and smoother. Longer and smoother. So this is a long putt, like all the way to the far end of this big practice green. It's 120 feet, I'm sure, maybe more. Longer and smoother, that's the only thought process. Longer and smoother. Okay, let's see. Wind's gonna blow my hat off.
Got that one.
Let's give you a couple of drills that will also help with these really long lag putts. One of them is get on the green and drop a ball and just go all the way across. And just like make this part of your pre-round warm-up. I'm just going to try to take it all the way across the green for the practice green.
I don't know if I followed it all the way or the camera picked it up, that little dot.
All right. Well, I hit that one across and go each direction. North, south, east, west. So now I'm going to go back to the other side. And again, I'm just working on 50, 60 foot putts, thinking about distance. And longer, smoother stroke. And that gets almost to the edge, so not terribly bad. And then on most greens, I would go the full length, but if you pan this way, now go all the way up to the other. This green is like 80 yards. You're not going to have a putt that long on the course, but on most greens, I would go all the way one end to the other. So you have these really long putts a lot of times, and it's a lag putt. You wanted to put it in a 3, 4, or at worst 5, maybe 6 foot circle. Make certain that you have a solid, consistent grip pressure throughout the stroke, and you do that on all putts. Long, short, doesn't matter. Make certain that you're stable and consistent in your setup and how you choose to distribute your weight over the ball, and you are still not shifting weight or doing a dance just because the putt is longer. You do that on every putt, longer, short. And then for these really longer ones, think, and your thought process is longer, smoother, longer, smoother, longer, smoother. That'll help you because a lot of us make the mistake of trying to really swat it or smack it. That never gives you a good result. Work on these things. Try this little warm-up drill where you go north, south, east, west, all the way across the practice green before you play. That gives you a feel so that when you have that long one in your round, yeah, I've already hit a couple like that today, I know what to do. Takes the thought out of that and helps you focus on being longer and smoother. Try these. You'll make more of those lag putts finish close, and that'll help you 3-putt less often. And in the meantime, here's to you making more putts.